Welcome to Spill Immunity. I'm Bree, your host, trying to be funny like our co-host Brandon and failing miserably at it. I couldn't find feathers. I found petals.
Like, what podcast is this?
We are doing our celebration of our co-host Brandon. He's wrapping up an amazing career with his youth ministry, and we just wanted to celebrate Brandon. So we thought we would bring the props this week. As you can see, he's in his car. Alex is over in Taiwan. Hi guys, how's it going?
It's going good.
And of course, Brandon cuts out on his sound. That's perfect. Perfect. He laughs so hard.
Perfect. Yeah, it is. It's.
Do I have to carry the show today? It's okay. We'll be fine.
Bree, how's my connection?
Your connection's great. Brandon's driving, so he's going to be in and out of sound, but we'll make it work. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We are so excited. What a fun week this was. I thought the chicken episode, I don't know what else to call it, but the chicken episode, because it was pretty dramatic. I thought. What did you think, Alex?
You haven't seen it on Survivor in a while. I mean, I can't recall a season where they've been it's been such a big deal. It's been such a focus of the episode. Pretty boring episode. Kind of anti, not a lot happened on the episode. Tribal was pretty boring, so but the chicken, I guess that was they didn't name the chickens. The chickens didn't get a name. They always get a name.
Well, maybe they'll get a name. Maybe it's just too early in the game. They just wanted to eat one of them before naming it, and then they were like, "Okay, we still got 2 chickens left. Maybe we'll name those. We'll see how it goes." Yes, I am wearing crazy makeup today because this was what Brandon did when Sue had a dirty face on the season, like the whole season. So I thought I would, if people are wondering why I look so crazy, this is not our Halloween episode. This is our ode to Brandon, who dropped off because his signal is terrible. But that's okay. He'll come back when he can.
We'll watch the replay.
Yeah. Lots of fun. And I've got my sign, our Brandon sign. This is Brandon Island. Don't hate me on the artwork. That was done in 5 minutes with some dry erase markers. That's as good as it gets. So that was first try. Wasn't going to redo it. That's it. Thanks.
That's pretty good.
What did we like about this week's episode?
What did I like? Good challenge, right? So yes. Always kind of get them on the challenge. Like Survivor's got the, new era Survivor has kind of the worst challenges. This though was a good challenge. Physical challenge. They had Joanne was going crazy. He was possessed. That was cool. They did lift up this giant cage. Totally physically exhausted. So I like the challenge. I thought it was cool. I always like when they do anything that's like epic and they're moving something really big. I guess that's like my qualification for a good challenge is, are they moving something extremely heavy and large? I thought the sandbags, which they did a journey, that's what they call it, right? They're like, they had to do the journey, right? Sandbags was a little bit like, it was boring, but I guess, so the challenge was good. And the tribal was boring, like I said. All the rest of the episode was pretty boring. The chicken was kind of, other than that, I was just like, man, this season's kind of what is, this is why they're hinting at 50 the entire time. Oh, wait till 50, wait. They've never done that in the history of Survivor. They've never been like, before this season is even playing, they're talking about the next season. So I don't really have a lot of high hopes. But we'll see how it goes. I can't see anything in the game changing dramatically.
Well,
right.
I have to agree. And I have to say, even the ones that I thought were going to at least bring me some sort of drama or excitement or intrigue or something this episode were falling flat. Like the Riz God just wasn't doing it this week. He didn't have a lot to say. He wasn't pontificating or saying anything exciting. It was kind of a letdown. On that journey, I look at the journey and how tremendously taxing that is on the body, right? That was a lot of strenuous activity. And then you could see, especially in Nate, how that affected him at the challenge, because he was really struggling in that challenge.
Yeah.
And so I guess for me, I thought, I like that they have these journeys, but I don't like the fact that it would take a player out so much in their capability to do a challenge the next day, right? Or the same day, or whatever. Because they said you'll be back in time for the challenge, right? Didn't they say that when they dropped when the boat showed up on the beach?
Yeah.
So that could have been the same day.
Right. I think it was the same day.
So you're asking a lot of people when you're going to carry something that big and heavy, and they've just busted their butts to move sandbags.
Yeah.
And those
that was kind of like an inhumane challenge. Like that was pretty extreme. Like it was like 100 plus sandbags. Like that was a pretty extreme challenge. And I mean, like I like the super physical challenges, but that one was just like kind of unnecessary. It's like, hey, go run a 5K. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, is that really? I mean, that's not really much of a challenge, but I thought it was interesting. I guess they could have just said, no, we're not going to. I mean, it was lucky that the people who got picked, MC and Nate, those are like two of the, stronger people out there. I mean, Nate's just kind of a tall, bigger guy. And MC's super fitness trainer. So they were lucky that it was those two, because I don't know if anybody else would have been able to do it. I mean, very few people.
Can you imagine
would have been able to do
Sophie?
that. Right.
And like Jason?
Right.
Not happening.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even have gotten to the point where they could find the note. I think. Because it was pretty buried.
Well, what do you think about that whole? I mean, it was interesting how Nate problem solved that. So basically, what happened was they take off all these sandbags. They have to transfer like 100 plus sandbags from one side of the beach to the other side of the beach. Then, when they're almost done, they discover, and there's this, this note or this clue, and it says, "Hey, somewhere in the forest, there's a advantage. You can either split up and go try to find it, or, well, I think you just had to." Or no, you didn't have to. You could split up and go try to find it, and then the person who's left has to transfer the rest of the sandbags in order to keep their vote. What Nate came up with was, hey, why don't we transfer the rest of the sandbags, leave one left that's like super close, not finish it, and then we can go both look, and then once the person finds it, we'll put the the one person who's left can, right? And yeah, what would you think about that? I mean, it seemed like a good idea.
It's smart. It's smart. It's, that way they can give themselves, enough time to figure things out. And because if one person's just doing it, they're probably automatically going to lose their vote from that. Right. And like he said, if he was the guy that was going to go off and do this and try to be fast about it, he wouldn't be the one to find it, because he just wouldn't be fast enough.
I didn't understand why he was like, well, I won't be able to do that. It's like, it's finding a clue in the forest. Like, it's basically random.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you like, why do you have this like negative self-talk? I could never find a clue.
I know.
Like, bro, you could find, like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, you're like 6'5". You can't walk through a forest and look for things. Are you too tall? You can't look in the so that didn't make any sense. I know he like felt like he was tired and stuff, but you're still transferring sandbags. And this is all on brand for the Kumbaya era of Survivor, where it's like only good vibes. You can't, like a normal Survivor game, they just be like, read it, and they just like jet.
They're gone.
Like, screw the other person. I'm going. You know what I mean? So I didn't really, like, it was good strategy for both of them, and they're trying to keep a positive relationship between MC and Nate, and I could see them working together. I mean, it seemed like, MC liked that, so I did see, if you're trying to work with MC down the line, doing that type of arrangement is maybe better to keep the alliance. But it just didn't seem very like,
very normal Survivor cutthroat. Let's get,
right.
Like, I want that advantage. It's mine. I'm going to go get it.
Exactly.
And get that head start. Whether that head start would make that much of a difference or not, because I don't know if it would be. They'd be like, hey, where'd you go? Read the note, and then be flying out to look as well. Right. So, yeah, I thought it was a good strategy. I thought it was smart. I mean, you have to have someone that's going to be agreeable to it, you know. But they're worn out regardless. I think just because of the double physical challenge to them, I think it was a little bit, for me, it was a little bit much. I would have preferred to see it that happen on a day where maybe the challenge isn't quite as physical, because it really took everyone to lift that cage, to move it forward. I liked the way the blue team, tribe, whatever, like just was like, we're just going to take small steps and keep moving forward and not stop. Where yellow was kind of like inching it forward and then just breaking down. And
yeah, some of them were like lifting it way too high. You didn't have to lift it that high.
No, just off.
It just needs to go over the ground.
Yeah.
Right. Like lifting it over their head. And this episode kind of came off to me as like the Sage episode. Yeah. You know, there, you know, kind of a big part of this episode was this rivalry that is building between Shannon and Sage. You know, people are realizing that Shannon's playing really hard, that she's bouncing around the camp. And we kind of predicted this last week that people would kind of become aware of Shannon, but probably not go with Sage because she's just a little bit too kind of weird. Like, but she's not even that weird. She just kind of categorizes herself as weird. You did kind of see, you know, some interesting aspects of her this episode. But what happened was basically Steven and MC were kind of getting wise to Shannon, and they went over to Christina, who is kind of core to their alliance, and said, hey, you know, Shannon's playing really hard, and Christina has a really good relationship with Shannon. And so she was kind of like, hey, do I go with my head or do I go with my heart? And it seemed like basically Christina made the decision, like, I'm going to work with MC and Steven, and we're going to kind of be against Shannon. Now, they didn't go to tribal, so that wasn't tested, but it did seem like Sage was kind of brought in, and, you know, that allowed her to kind of integrate into the group and told them some information about Hina, which is that Rizzo has an idol, right?
Yep.
So we'll see if that plays out, if Shannon stays in or if they vote Sage out.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart, actually, of Sage to do that. Did Shannon tell you that? Did she share that? Oh, shit. Yeah. Dropping stuff. Did she share that with you? Did she, you know what I mean? So yeah. I thought for Sage, it was a really smart play, because that's, you know, when you give that big of a piece of information out, and when you're trying to like build that trust with people, I thought, you know, it's not like we saw Matt go to Jawan and say, oh, I think we should do this, and like tried to give him some information, but like it wasn't anything big, and Jawan saw through it basically and was like, no, Matt, you're like, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna get rid of you. Right. With Sage, the way she did it, she was like, she made a point of not just sharing a piece of information, but then throwing in that, did Savannah share that with you? Did she tell you about this? Or not Savannah, did Shannon share that with you? Right. So I thought that was really smart. A smart way for Sage to find her way into that group. Now, will she be, you know, she'll be at the bottom of the group if she's in that group, but I think it was definitely a smart move on her part. I think Shannon is looking a lot more unsteady in her position now because of that. I think it really did make a difference in how they perceive Shannon. Because if you take that piece of information and you blend that with the fact that people are already feeling that she's, you know, trying to talk strategy with everybody, she's playing really hard, she's got all this stuff, she plays on people's vulnerabilities, like as they were saying in the episode. I mean, you pair that with the fact that she has knowledge that she's not sharing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, traveling slow-mads.
That's Johanna, actually.
I know. I was going to say. I recognize those people. That's right. Didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I don't think Sage is going to be able to integrate into the tribe. You know, she's at the bottom of that alliance. You know, she hasn't been able to really make relationships with anybody. You know, and it doesn't seem like she's able to really. You know, like who's like one person that she's getting close to. You know,
Everyone.
she kind of like is always on the outs, and you saw that when Steven and Steven and who came up to her? It was Steven and Alex. Steven and Alex came up and said, "Hey, you know," she was like, "I'm feeling FOMO." They were having this conversation, and so they came in and they're like, "Hey, Shannon's feeling really hard." And then Sage was like, I've been wanting to say something. I've been trying to say something," which is good for her to kind of play in the background. Because, you know, but yeah. Okay.
I have to say, I'm starting to really like Sage, and it's not for the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for the gameplay, but I think she's going to be serving the rest of the season that she is on the best reactions to things in camp. So we saw that preview at the end of her giving this amazing, hysterically funny face to what Shannon had just said. She's like, ugh, or whatever she did, which I love. So I could take, like, I'll keep Sage around just so she can serve some of that to us while the season goes on. We need something in this season. So if Sage,
I know that's kind of like that's kind of like this season is like the highlight is Sage, who's, you know, I sort of like her in some ways, but you know, she's no Carolyn. You know, she's really like she's more expressive than she's when she's like doing her solo interviews, she's not really very expressive. Like when she's around people, she's a little bit like, you know, kind of has these little quirks and stuff, and yeah, the faces, but like, you know, if that's the highlight of the season, it's like, oh man. Because you're not really getting a lot. I mean, the other like personality is like Savannah, you know, and hers is just like complaining about, oh, I don't like this person, and Joanna's stealing my stuff, and oh, it's like she's bringing it. It's like it really, really bugs her, so she's like constantly bringing it up to like other, just is eating, which I can maybe understand, but like you know, they brought it up like 3-4 times in this episode where she's talking about it, and like that was kind of like the juicy part of like the first part of the episode. I'm like, this is so boring.
Yeah. And I think, and that unfortunately is not going to play in Savannah's, like, I mean, I know she's not really saying that, that's all in like confessionals that she's saying that over and over again, but it's getting old and tired. And you have to remember, you know, part of the appeal is how you come off on camera, right? If you get, I mean, I know she gets asked back, but just the fact that if we get tired of hearing that, she's going to lose that popularity that survivors get after the show. You know,
it does say that she was a former reporter. She's not a reporter. She's a former. How's that a job? Former reporter? Like that's not a. Okay, that's Traveling Slowmad says she does the funniest reactive faces in the moment, like while hugging someone. Yeah.
Which I love.
It's like The
I
Office.
want more
it's
of
like
that.
the person who watches The Office. They like look into the camera and break the third wall. And they're like,
yeah.
Hers are more like faces of disgust, but yeah.
But I love that. I mean, I'll take that. If that's what I got to get this season rolling for me, I think I'll take it. I do think it was interesting with the chickens. I will go back to them. Do you think that they continue to kill chickens, or do you think that they get any eggs out of any of these chickens? Do we even get, have we ever seen chickens lay eggs on Survivor? I think maybe once.
I was thinking kill all the chickens right now and eat them all right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like just kill them all and eat them all. This idea of like, let's save the chicken. Let's like eat it now. Like, I don't understand this. And like, it's not going to, it's going to lay 3 eggs. Like the chicken, have they ever done this equation? Like what is the calorie ratio? Like how many eggs do you need to like equate to a full chicken? I'm sure a full chicken is like 20 times, 100 times the calorie of like an egg.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right. So it's one egg is not going to feed 7 people, 6 people.
And then we're like this close to the merge too. So what are you going to do? Bring the chicken? You're going to get a merge feast.
Right.
So
And
like
you're
they're
not
getting
going to they'll chickens will be left on those in the island space that you leave when you merge.
right.
Right. So you're not going to get to bring the chickens with you. Maybe
So they're gonna
like
eat
you
like a
eat
chicken
them.
a day.
Yeah. You eat a
Like
chicken a
what's the
day. Yeah. I think you eat a chicken a day.
right? And then, but then go through the collective group trauma of killing the chicken every
Oh
day.
my
So
word.
it's gonna
That
wear
was,
on them. They should have killed them all three at once. Get the trauma over with. You know,
but
ring
then you
them
have to eat
all.
all of them all at once.
I think you should eat them all at once. I mean, I think you could eat because the merge is this close. You don't know if you're going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I think, like, why are you waiting to eat the chicken? Like, no one's campaigning, like, let's eat them all right now. I could be going home tomorrow. We could change tribes tomorrow. And I think they did hint out there was a tribe swap next episode.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I was going to bring that up because they said new tribes, and I went, "What? New tribes? What?" So, what are we doing? Are we because we don't want to have another person sit out? We're just going to look. I got more of these things slaying around. Are we going to have to swap again so we don't have a 4? Is it what is it? It was 6 and 6. No, it was 7 and 7. So we're down to
But we have a
5
lot
and
of
7.
uli. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 uli, 4 hina, and 2 kele. So it's 6v4, and this is why Rizzo and Savannah are like, oh, they're so dominant. Well, it's because they're going in with this big majority, and so I think they're trying to mix it up to try to get one of these. I don't think they should. I guess unless
So you
production
really
or
should have eaten
whatever.
the chickens at once
Right.
because no one's
So
going to see a tribe swap again.
right. Yeah. Well, Jeff said. You remember when they switched, he did say, like, in Survivor 49, we do have it scheduled where there is a merge at this number. So I'm thinking that all of these things are pre-planned, so like this last minute mix up before merge, because I think it's going to be mix up the tribes. One more person goes. Next episode, it will be fake merge, which is you go into
Only
one
half,
tribe,
yeah.
and then the person gets voted off. They don't make the jury. And then that would end it with a jury of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people on the jury. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking happens is they do tribe mix up. Okay, next episode, it's fake merge, which means they go into one tribe, but the person who gets voted off doesn't get on the jury. And then after that jury vote, then you have your final, real jury and merged tribe.
Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff that's going on. We've got MC who's got to find the Beware Advantage map to find the idol. We've got chickens that you could be swapped away from and lose your chicken dinner. No winner there. There is some things that are happening on. Oh, look who's back. He made it. You made it.
Juwan stole my Wi-Fi connection.
Oh, that was
Is
it.
what happened.
Yep.
Completely gone. He needs to stop doing that. Where have we left? I'm so bummed because I thought this episode was great. Catch me up.
Oh, we've just been hating on the episode for the last 30 minutes.
You can't hate on an episode with chickens.
Okay, well, true. Brandon, you have the floor. Break it all down for us.
Okay, so I thought, first Shannon scheming way too early with people who have never even been to tribal, trying to break them up. What is she thinking? Ruining her game, like right then and there. She's like me in the fact that, like, my wife is it Steven, or what was the guy's name? Steven,
yeah. and Alex.
Yeah, Steven. And, I get up, I'm a morning person. I have my cup of coffee. I probably have read 3 books by the time my wife gets up in the morning at like noon, right? Kids are at school, all the things are happening. And if I was to tell my wife, hey, here's a big plan to change everything, right as she's not ready to talk to me, she's going to vote me out of the bedroom. She's going to vote me out of the marriage. Like, it's not happening. So the fact that she did that, she signed, I think she signed her death warrant. That's how crazy that was. Did you guys talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about that, but that's a good point. I totally agree on that, Brandon. Yeah. When you're up for like 3 hours and then your wife wakes up and then you're like, you tell them like the craziest thing that you've been thinking about. And they're like, I just woke up. You're
Alex
right.
goes through that
I literally do it
every
every day.
single day. He wakes up and I've left him like a whole novel.
Yeah.
Notes.
Yeah, it's like, honey, let's have 4 babies, adopt 3, and give birth to a hamster. Like, that's the kind of statement you don't make to your wife first thing in the morning. So,
Yep.
morning people, really. I mean, that's what I am. So yeah, so we agree there. Okay, so far we're good.
What did you think about Sage sharing the Rizzo info about his idol?
You know what? In Sage's situation, she did better than what Shannon did, because at least Sage has given them information in a situation where did she know at that time that Shannon was saying things, or did they tell her after?
I think he told her after.
No,
okay.
They told her. I feel like they told her before. They told
like
her
a couple
before.
of them that they did, because she hadn't talked to MC yet, and MC was part of the revelation that, hey, this is who has it. So I think she did not earn the trust yet, but like they came to her and been like, hey, I think Shannon's kind of throwing your name around, and then she gave them trust chips. Did she need to go that far with it? I don't think so, because she doesn't have anybody right now. Like, she's in a safe position, but who is she teaming with the duration of the game? She's reminding me a lot of, who was that one? It was season 39, Nora, where she went like to the very end, but she wasn't gonna get any votes. Like, she's giving me those vibes right now.
Yeah,
What's your guys?
possibly.
Yeah, what's your guys' take on Sage?
I'm starting to like her. I'm here for her facial reactions to people. I know she's gonna be serving it the rest of the season that she's on. I mean, I'm here for that. So I like her just because of that. I do think she's gonna be a difficult player to work with. And like you were saying, she doesn't really have that number one, but neither does Shannon. And that's what Alex brought up earlier, was that who is Shannon's number one?
Yeah.
Well, who's Sage's number one? Sage doesn't she's trying to create an alliance with like the entire tribe instead of trying to build relationships with individual people.
Yeah.
Shannon tries to, but she just kind of assumes like, oh, this person likes me. Like that was with the Steven thing. Like, she I think on Survivor, people can't like disassociate with you. Like they can't just like leave. Yeah. So the people who are around her in like normal life, like they want to be around her. They like what she does. And so, she says, well, people love me. Right. And it's like, well, on Survivor, they're going to say that they love you. So she maybe is good at making that first impression because she's so high vibe. She's so in people's faces. And so, willing to kind of invade that personal bubble. But that gets really invasive after a while. And that's kind of what people are feeling now is like, she is too close. She's coming into,
yeah, because she was compared to poverty at one point, and the one thing that Shannon doesn't have that poverty had is a little bit of spatial awareness to be like, okay, like I can't go this far into things. She probably learned from poverty, or maybe she, like she said, she naturally has that ability to connect with anybody. Sage said, you pick a topic and she'll be glued to that topic to make sure she has you zoned in and can talk to you about that forever and keep that conversation going. But one thing, you guys are absolutely right, is that she does not have that, oh, I'm overstepping a lot of bounds right now and being way too proactive, especially since half the people on our new tribe right now have never been to tribal council yet. So
we just lost your sound out, Brandon. We've got it, but it's like a robot.
And now you guys sound like robots. So you guys keep talking. I'll get my robot.
Okay. That's awesome. I do know what you're saying, but we can't hear you. But it's funny. So I was going to ask Alex this: how do we react to Juwan and the way he's playing the game? Because I thought the way he was at Tribal was really, really interesting. And I liked what he brought up during Tribal. And then what Riz God started to say as well when it came to how you are perceived. So long way to get there. Sage doesn't see how she's perceived. Shannon may not see how she's perceived. But Jawan, even though he's maybe not, he's at the bottom of things, I think he's pretty aware of that fact and how he is perceived.
So the point that Jawan brought up was like, basically he just like interrupted Jeff. He's like, Jeff, I feel awkward. I feel socially awkward. And then Jeff's like, okay, thanks for sharing.
Well, explain that, Jawan.
Yeah. And then Rizgod was like, you look at other people and you start to get self-conscious or laughing at other people's jokes. You think, am I funny? Or they're really connecting. You think, can I connect with people? It's like this, just people are, this like paranoia. It's partially paranoia, feeling uneasy about your place. I don't like that. Like the whole Tribal is like Jeff baiting and like trying to get this like therapy session going for everybody and their lack of self-confidence. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, we're not talking about strategy here. We're talking about people's like perception, like self-perception when they're in like their most broken down state too. Like, this isn't even how they really probably perceive themselves in their normal life. But you take somebody, you beat them down, you starve them, you do all this stuff, like they're going to feel more emotional, more insecure about, so I just like Tribal was so boring. I'm like skipping ahead. Like, okay, this isn't, I don't even want to watch this. Cause it, like, they didn't even talk about strategy at all. It was just this whole, I feel weird. And Jeff's trying to kind of relate it back to strategy, but it just was, it seemed forced. And like, I'm like, Jeff, ask a strategy question, or like, but there's nothing going on in the tribe. There's no strategy happening for like this entire season up to this point. So it's like, you can't even ask a strategy question. So that's,
yeah. After that Tribal, is that why you think that they're going to mix up the tribes again? Because Jeff's like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, do I still sound like a robot?
No, you're perfect.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. I mean, the season is being handed to Rizgod and Savannah right now. They were on a tribe that never went to council, and now them losing is actually them winning. And they switched with the right 4 people to where they have their 4 and their 3 all lined up to where if Chris and Dan weren't wonderful, which they didn't work. I mean, Chris even said, I'm not going to work with you guys. I'm going to stick with my own tribe, see, like an episode ago. So, and Jawan is there if they need to vote out one of their own. So, like, this is silver platter Survivor for those 2 individuals. And you're right. Like, it has not been a lot of, I appreciate seeing Savannah kind of, I loved how she kind of manipulated Chris. He wasn't going to go home, but to say enough to not give him a name, but say, hey, this is what you need to go tell other people, made it, at least to Chris, didn't make her seem like she was a real threat, and went along wonderfully with Savannah, which is why I think we're going to see Savannah next season, because she is very good at just saying enough to people, causing them to not have to strategize a lot because it's just simple for her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. I mean, and I think Savannah here, the one thing that I didn't like about last night's episode with Savannah was her comments about Jason. And I think it'll just blow over, and maybe I'm just making too much out of it, but like, she told Jason what to say, and Jason went and said that. Like, he listened to her, and he was like, I'm the connection to the Hina tribe, and da-da-da. But then she, like, recapped it in her journalistic way and, like, put it out there. And I was like, I don't know. I just felt like it just showed how it was fed to Jason. Like, it didn't do Jason any favors. The way she said it much more eloquently than Jason did. And she brought it up like, well, he is our connection. And I mean, I get that they're trying to keep Jason from using his shot in the dark. Not that those really ever work too often. But I don't know. I just thought it was, I didn't like that when she said that for me.
Oh, I thought it was great on her part, just because like he went in there confident. He went in there so, and maybe it's more Jason being naive.
Yeah.
But he went in there saying, I felt confident. How do you go into tribal going in confident when you only had one other kind of alliance with you who got voted out? No one's really given you a name, at least. You're the only one who's thrown out Riz God. And poor reading on his part for saying that Riz God was the one of the four that everybody else was going to join in on. So I just thought, either do you think it was more his naivety or her being manipulative enough, Alex?
I think she was manipulative.
You think so? Yeah. But you don't think that
You're muted, Alex. Sorry.
Someone else has problems.
I think Jason was not good. Like, he just wasn't in the game. He like to vote Riz God, like that's reading the tribe totally wrong. Didn't he
Totally wrong.
Like on the bottom.
Right.
So he just read the tribe completely wrong. Never played. He should have played a shot in the dark, like Brandon said. And I think that maybe some of this is because, he was an alternate. Jason was an alternate. Also there was another alternate. So there's two alternates. And then Jake got, bitten out, right? And Jake was kind of this trouble pot stirrer, kind of verbose thing. He had a lot of personality. You may not like them.
A lot of left shoes.
Yeah, like he mixed things up. And so I think who and you got to remember, the people who were taken out of the game were people who couldn't stop talking at the island. So maybe they were these villains, right? Maybe they were the people who were actually going to mix this season up and cause some chaos, but they were removed. And that's why we have this just terrible season, because all the people who were supposed to inject some chaos, some personality, were removed, Jake and then the two alternates, and then replaced with just kind of, basic, like kind of whatever, people.
Perhaps, yeah, I could see how, like, especially these two, or whoever these are. I want to hear the backstory on why these two got kicked out of the game. Maybe too much scheming. I haven't heard anything.
That they were talking to people at Ponderosa.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's probably why they picked these people, right? But they just were a little bit too much and started way too early. So you got that. I'm still not, this really turned me off to our friend Shannon, who that's another part too, is if you wait long enough in the game of Survivor, someone's going to do something stupid enough to where you don't have to really strategize. You just kick out those people who are playing too early. So, you got to go in and probably like 2 hours before tribal. And sometimes you hear seasons where they're still talking like the last 5 seconds and they switch things up, right? Australian Survivor, they switch it up at Tribal Council. So we're not seeing what Australia does, and that is a bunch of crazy stuff happening at Tribal, which is when they need to start mixing things up a little bit more.
Now, remember, MC was an alternate, right? MC was one of the alternates. And I think she's playing probably still the best game.
Perhaps I loved her conversation with Dad Nate, who we saw him kind of, he's on day 5 of his family vacation, getting a little mad at Riz God, saying "shut up" to the RIZGOD. So we're starting to see that, but she was, burping the alphabet. So we're still on farts and burps and poop on the season. So we're keeping that alive. Great. But yeah, I did like her camaraderie with Nate and how she was tired, but she still like answered the questions. And what a strong girl.
Yeah. I mean, you can foresee a confrontation coming between MC, Christina, Steven, that's kind of a core 3. Add Sophie into that, that's 4, versus the 4 of Nate, Rizzo, Savannah, and Jawan. Right? And it looks like Sophie S, Deloitte, she's kind of on the outside of the Steven, MC, Christina alliance. Jawan is on the outside of the Savannah, Rizzo, Nate alliance. And so this is where I think you'll see this move, or this, wow, Rizzo and Savannah are so great, is because they're going to come and have this collision with the other, the original Hina alliance. And so how does that play out and how does that go? I mean, they're coming in with numbers. I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah, if there's even Hina left, if with the switch, it could be a situation where that's why I don't think Jeff was like, "Hey, let's throw in another twist," because right now this next vote is going to either be okay, you have to start voting each other off, guys, or the other side gets their chance to vote one of you guys off. So it's going to be a very interesting tribe switch this coming week.
Yeah, so you're thinking tribe switch this week too, huh?
I didn't they kind of hint at it a little bit?
They did.
They did. They said it in the preview. And Brandon, is it tribe switch or a tribe swap?
Whatever Jeff wants, you know, whatever he wants. Flavor
Brandon,
of the day.
Did you see my prediction last week that I said, you were going to win the season? It's going to be Savannah. Did you see that?
I did. I watched the whole entire episode of you guys.
I just want to make sure you're caught up. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I have left because I thought Jawan was going to go home, and I was like, I am Sophie. All my guys are gone. All my guys are gone. But Savannah, I trust. I just find it weird that she's going to be a winner on the same season next season with, I think her and Queen D are too similar as winners. But maybe that's all I have, Alex. That's all I have. Jawan's not going to do it.
No.
Jawan's not going to do it. Yeah, and Bree, but bless his heart. You can say anything you want with bless his heart. Bree, you're probably MCing, like in your group of 4, you're thinking MC is the strongest for you. Alex, same question for you though. Where on your team, who do you see as like your front runner? Best chance?
I'm black belt on my whole team. I don't think any of them stand a chance. You don't see Sophie S. Deloitte. I mean, she's getting 0 airtime. Yeah, I mean, she might not. So I don't think she. Nate, I think Nate will get to the end. I don't think he's getting any votes.
Okay.
I just, he's a dad. But he just doesn't seem to kind of connect with people. He's always the odd guy out.
I don't
Christina
think he
actually is good. I mean, Chris, if she makes it towards the end, but I just don't see that Hina alliance getting anywhere. And then Steven's a part of that too. So I just feel like my team's
I kind of feel like Steven of your group, Alex, is the strongest contender to kind of move forward because I think he's got that. It reminds me of Opie from whatever the name of that show is with
Andy Griffith's show.
The Andy Griffith Show. Thank you. He's got that. Yep, that little boy, goofy, sweet like face that
he's got like an underdog story behind him.
And he's just
like a good winner type of thing. Yeah, I agree. I see that.
I kind of feel like that's going to play in his favor as he gets to know other people, and that I just think that he's to me it's different for him. So I like see him a lot. I love MC, but I do believe the numbers are against her, and that's I think MC would be when she leaves, because I don't know if she'll make it to the end, but I think MC would be a great one to bring back for another season, because she is so strong and she is so likable, and she can really, without being overtly like, so Shannon and Sage are very over, like they are like in your face. I'm going to try to be your friend. Let's be friends. Can we be friends? Please be friends. And MC is just like, yo, yeah, that's cool. It's chill. Let's hang. Right. Yeah. It's a very calming, energy. And she does, it's nothing that feels like icky or like too much. And I think that is a really big advantage for MC. So I would love to see her come back into some of these to another season if she doesn't get to go. Well, regardless, I'd love to see her again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned Nate a little bit earlier and how he's going to go to the end but not get any votes. I don't think they're going to know what he's talking about. Like when they showed him like fake laughing to all their different terminology they're using, and then they cut away from him leaving, and he said, "Oh, we exchanged pleasantries." I was like, "Oh my, you've been waiting to say like adult words for the last like 10 days, dude, to say the word pleasantry in your interview." So I think he is going to go pretty far, but you're right. Like maybe they're all like, whoa, he's smart, and then vote him in there. But MC, she just, it's hard to prove yourself the lack of tribal challenges this late in the season becomes more and more damaging to your game because you don't know how to experience it. So that's going to be the interesting part for MC. How does she get through a tribal or two and come out on top if she's the girl?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that she can make it through. I think that if she gets to individual immunity, I think she stands a chance of winning a lot of those.
Cool. Yeah, I do too.
Because like, who does she have? Who is she going up against? Honestly, let's look at it. Nate, no. Christina, no. Steven, Sophie, no. Savannah, maybe. On some of those like little girl ones, you know, and I'm not saying that to be rude, but just saying the ones that
there's a thing
where yes, so you don't want strength and body size, and you need to be tiny and small,
lightweight,
and
balance,
all that stuff. Alex, maybe, like, really, who is MC's competition when it comes to strong physicality right now?
I can see Shannon only because of her dexterity, her yoga, her calm, balance, finding patience and what she's doing, although she's not showing patience and working too fast. So I could see her maybe. I think Sage is still left to, and I don't think she's winning the game, Sage, but I think she's winning more now than Shannon is.
Oh yeah.
But oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah,
Alex,
I think it's yeah. Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was gonna say, you know, poverty, you know, is super beast at challenges, and she's a yoga teacher, I think, or you know, like does yoga all the time. So yeah, that yoga, because they do have the challenge where you hang on the post, right? And they don't really do that a ton on American Survivor. I hope they do, because I like that challenge. Anything that's like, you know, outlasting type of physical, you know, endurance challenges like that, love that. But I don't know. I mean, Shannon is kind of like that, you know, like how much yoga is she really doing? Maybe she says she does it all the time, but is she? Is this another one of her tricks? You know, that she's, oh, I'm into yoga, I do it every day. It's like, okay, maybe, right. So we'll see. I agree. Like MC is it's gonna be hard to match her physical strength and her, you know, but I don't know. I feel like as they go deeper in, it's less physicality and it is more puzzles. It is more take the ropes and have the ball go down the track, you know, bowl with a tiny ball. You know, it's like all these like balancing dexterity tests. So I don't know if she's gonna excel at that necessarily.
And I tell you what, after this past, I love the immunity challenge this week. I want to give a shout out to those guys with the cage and basically, you know, the losers have to then crawl out of a, like, how did they get out of that cage? That's why I wanted to see. They were so ragtag, they were so done, they lost, and now they have to get their way out of this jail cell, either by digging. I don't know if they flipped it over for them, but that was a fun challenge, and I'm glad
they're actually still in the cage.
They're in the cage right now. Poor thing. They did tribal in the cage, but there was no puzzle. So it's a perfect time to vote out our friend Jason, and I love the challenge, and I'm hoping, because you said that, Alex, that we see a new challenge that helps somebody else out. But all the stronger players are gone now, so it's going to be pretty even if it comes to a strength challenge besides MC.
Yeah, I like to see them I love those relay ones. I love the ones where they all start in the middle and they have to go through different obstacles to get the key and then bring it back. And then once they have the key, they can unlock the blocks, and then they have to carry all the blocks up to the top of the thing. And then they have to do the puzzle and that person wins. I like that's mentally and physically so demanding, and I like those kinds of challenges. So you really get to weed out, you know, you could be running a little behind on something, but then come back in where, you know, you're fast with the puzzle. So if you can get there in time before someone solved it, you have the ability to get it done, and you can make up that time. I like those challenges. I like to see more of those. I don't want to see whatever that one is, and there's a name for it. It's the motion one. Drop the ball and time it. Let's drop another ball and time it. I'm so over. I thought it was an amazing challenge when it first came out. It's like having, you know, Kung Pao chicken every single night for a year. I've had enough of it.
Good call on Kung Pao chicken, though. That was
Thank
good. I was
you.
gonna go the music route and be like, it's just like when "Smooth" by Rob Thomas and Santana came out. They played it every week for like a year,
Yep.
and I loved it. Now I hate the song. So great job on Kung Pao
Thank
Chicken.
you.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap things up here. We got a few minutes left. Who do we think is going home this next episode? Alex, we'll go first.
Hard to say because they're going to be mixing up the tribes, right? But it does seem like Shannon. They keep kind of foreshadowing Shannon. There's been a lot of foreshadowing on Shannon. So I have a feeling they're going to mix up tribes. Shannon's going to find herself on the outs on some mechanism. But it's hard to say because, like I said, they're mixing up tribes. Watch them go to 3 tribes again.
Oh, Lord.
Watch them actually go to 3 tribes.
We're going 12 tribes. Jeff is going crazy.
So I think maybe Shannon.
Brandon?
I'm going to go with Juwan. Reason being, I think Savannah and Rizgod are more in charge of the game than Sage is. And I think that they need to prove one small little vote that, hey, we're willing to not call this a us versus them game. So Juwan will be on the chopping block. I'd be curious to see if Rizgod's idol comes into play since people are knowing about it this early in the game. So we'll see, but I'm going to put my money on one of my last ones and just have Savannah standing alone on Team Brandon, Juwan.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with, my pick was Juwan as well. I just think that he's irritated enough people. And also he is just, awkward. I think he's going to get himself in a position where numbers aren't going to be on his side. And, we're going to see, I think they foreshadowed that at Tribal actually last night with him talking about how he just doesn't feel like he's the right person for the job, basically. And so I kind of feel like that in itself, because I thought that was it was interesting to hear him say that, but like Alex said, it was a little boring. It was a little too much psychologist couch kind of a thing. So it was an interesting dynamic, but I think it was important if he goes home next week because of the things that not because he said that out loud, but because of the things he's thinking that he shared with us, that I think he carries forward in this. Okay, question of the day that I have to ask before we wrap it up. In previous seasons, we have seen big name Survivor players come back to help the players that are currently playing, right? We saw Boston Rob, we've seen Sandra, and we've also seen Cochran. So my question to you is, if we brought Cochran back as like the reward for this next episode, who would you want him to coach for that one afternoon on the yacht that they would win for doing that?
Debbie every single time. Bring her back. Debbie, I want to see the Cochran Debbie thing part 2, but since that was not the question at all, I would say on this season, I need Savannah on my team. So selfishly, I'm going to say Savannah. I don't think she needs the help right now. So I'm going to say Savannah because of my team, but the person that really needs to talk to Cochran right now, I think, is Nate. I think Nate would listen enough to Cochran, and I think it'd help Nate the most.
Alex?
That's a good call. I was going to say MC because I don't like the Savannah, Rizzo, Nate alliance. I did pick Nate, and I do think Nate's playing a game for third. He's not playing a game for first. And I think you're right, Brandon, that he would connect the most with Cochran. He's an intellectual player. Cochran needs to explain to him, hey, you're playing a game for third. No one's going to vote for you. You got to make big moves. And I just don't feel like it's in Nate to make big moves. So he needs this outside perspective to, hey, here's how you're going to make the move. Here's what you need to do next.
You're exactly right. And I think he has to play 2 games this season. One is not be dad, but be dad. And that is fake smile. And he said human versus, pawn or whatever he said about, hey, I need to at least have real world conversations with MC as we're doing this to prove that I'm a human so she doesn't vote me out. So I think I'm glad I saw that because that was strategy we haven't seen from him. But I think that he's maybe concentrating too much on that and not having a strategy that says this is how I won the game. So I agree. Bree, your answer to that same question.
I was going to say Steven, because I can see
I was
those
going to say
two
that next.
really relating with each other. I like Steven in this season. I think that there's a lot more we could see from him. I think he is smart. And he does have that, like, he has that almost Cochrane like goofiness to him a little bit, where he's just, he can smile. Like I said, he looks like Richie Cunningham or Opie on Andy Griffith's show. He's got that. There's this like appeal to him that.
Did you fall asleep to Nick at Night last night?
No, I didn't.
You're just blaring out all the TV classics today. So.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
no,
go ahead. Yeah.
that's funny.
He is a rocket scientist.
Yeah,
so.
He's very smart. So I just really like. I think for me, I would like to see Cochrane come in to do a really quick coaching session with Steven. I think that would give Steven real contention in this game.
That's a good point, too.
So
that's a great call.
That's my call for that. I just wanted to come up with a fun question for the end of the show today. And
I love fun questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more fun question?
Absolutely.
So this is the last of the new era until we go to season 50. Where does the pre-merge rank for season 49 compared to the rest? And a follow-up question to that, are they going the right direction if this is the direction they're hoping to go? Compared from 41 to 49.
Well, they talked about this, like when they do the 3 tribes, I think they said like out of the 9 seasons, 6 of them have ended like the same way, where there's one team that gets completely decimated.
Yep.
And, so they need to stop. And like, it's also the challenges when there's 2 tribes are so much more entertaining. You know what I mean? Like these challenges, just the 2 tribes makes it so much entertaining than 3. I don't know why that is, but it's just like, there's just some psychological thing where it's like when there's 2 people competing, it's like neck and neck. It's like this person versus that person. When it's 3, it's like, and 2 people win. Well, then it's like, I don't care that the 3rd tribe goes home. So they need to stop the 2 tribes. I think this is like one of the worst seasons so far. I don't know like why that is, and if it's editing, if it's the personalities, if it's like because like Jake was eliminated via snake bite, and in the same tribe went to tribal council 4 times in a row. So it's just like I don't know what this, but it's just not this. The season's not doing well. So
okay, Bree.
I agree on the 2 tribes. I don't like the 3 tribes. I don't like to see one tribe get completely annihilated. I really, and here and even more for that is that we don't see anybody else going to tribal, and I think that screws up a lot of stuff too. I think it's better when it's more neck and neck. I feel like it's a fairer chance, and you get to start seeing people at tribal. So it really kind of messes up, I think, how the game is played when we still have a group of people this late in the game that have never been to tribal. And then we have someone like Sophie who's been to tribal every single week, right? And so I would like to see, like, I guess it doesn't really matter what happened with Shannon because Sage, because they're not going to tribal. So who cares what they talked about, really? So it just, I want to see more dynamics, because you remember what we focus on after the challenge is the team that's going to tribal. And if it's the same team every single time, it's a lot. I want to see more of everything. So that's why I don't like the 3. That's my primary reason why I don't like the 3. How is this season doing in terms of other seasons and where we're headed? I think I personally feel that they tested a lot of stuff in the 40s. So they're going to, I think, in my opinion, take what is working and throw out what is not. And after 50, we're going to see some big changes again. I think we're going to see maybe a melding of things. I think we'll bring back the villains. I think we're going to get villains in 50. We have to, because they're there. And I love that. I'm so here for it. And I think, we tried to be the kumbaya of Survivor for 10 seasons, and it's enough. I think we need that mix. I think we need the drama in there more, and they're going to get a huge response from 50, and it's going to lead them to where I think they already know 51 and 52 are going to go. So I think we're going to see another shift up. I think it's going to, I think I think because they're seeing what works and what doesn't work. And this season, you should have been better by 49 than you were in 42 or 43, but 42 and 43 were better than 49. So whatever you're doing is headed in the wrong direction. Time to make a change for that.
Long and I would simply, no, that was good. I would simply say I do not like seasons, and I know they can't do this. Maybe not. Maybe more betting or whatever where people quit. So I'm so glad that this was not a season where anybody has quit.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a snake bite, which what can you do about that? But yeah, the 3 tribe things. I think that's something Australian Survivor has always gotten right, and that is to not fix something that's not broken. And so I would say that it is on the wrong half of the top 10 list for these last 9 seasons. But at the same time, I almost wonder, like, what if this was season 41 or 42? Are we just saying some of the stuff because, like we said, the same thing happens over and over again with a weaker tribe and a stronger tribe, that it's just become stale? So I kind of want to give it that notion too, that it is the last of, hopefully, what you said was that 51 is kind of throwing out the bad and keeping all the good.
Yep. Very cool. Well, thanks for coming with us today, Brandon, from wherever you're at, the golf course, I don't know, Universal Studios, Fiji. We love it.
I don't even know where I am right now. I stopped on the side of a road when I saw 5 bars, and so I have no clue what town I'm in.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Alex, you will not be are you joining us next week, maybe?
No, I'm gonna fly to Fiji.
Alex is finally getting off the island of Fiji, and he is flying back to the States. So we will miss you next week. But we will see everyone next week. Thanks to everyone for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.